It's time for live softball action on the No Coast Network. And now, live softball action on the No Coast Network.
And welcome to the Lacey Complex here in Oskaloosa, Iowa. My name's Eric Zamora, and we've got softball action, and we're going to get right into it with Williamsburg at bat, chopping one over to the second baseman, throw out to first, and that will be the end of the first inning. We will come, or I should say the end of the top of the first. We'll come back in just a matter of moments and recap that first inning for you, bringing you starting lineups as well. But Williamsburg leading North Mahaska in girls softball action 1-0. You're listening on KMZN and the No Coast Network.
Craig Ford is more than just the name of our business. It's my name and my reputation. Craig Ford is committed to providing you with the highest in customer service and the peace of mind in knowing we won't be beat on price. Check out our website at craigford.com and compare our prices with our competitors. Craig Ford won't be beat on price. Let me say that one more time. Craig Ford won't be beat on price.
My name is Luke Harris, and I'm proud to be a local farmer. Partnering with Flight and State Bank helps me in my farming enterprise to make sound day-to-day decisions from a financial perspective because they provide the financial stability and advice that I need to run my business the way it needs to be ran.
Middle of the first inning, and the North Mahaska Warhawks due up at bat. They come out in their black uniforms with red numerals, a little bit of white trim, trailing 1-0. We will have an opportunity to recap that top of the first, but first want to welcome into the broadcast Cade Snakenberg, our color commentator. Cade, thanks for helping us out and giving me a little bit of a respite as I was able to go out to Montezuma last night, call some Montezuma North Mahaska baseball. So obviously appreciate you coming in and allowing me to rest the pipes a little bit.
Of course, no problem. Excited to be here. It's a beautiful day, and let's get ready for some softball.
It's a beautiful day at this point as this one is laced over the third baseman's head and in for a hit. Starting things off offensively is Zoe Ducour, and she will round first but hold up there. We'll go ahead and, again, give you an opportunity to take a look at what you missed. Aubrey Walters led things off for Williamsburg with a single, and then it was a fly out by Charlie Gegazis to the third baseman. Coming up with that play defensively was Brianne Fogel for the Warhawks. Here's a swinging bunt, and it will end up being an out at first. However, it does advance the runner. So Marcy DeJong out at first with a 1-3 putout, but Ducour will advance to second. Maddie McKay up next. So after Charlie popped up to the third baseman, we had Jill Hollab then end up with a single, and then a throwing error. Coming all the way around to score was Walters, then Megan Lamparek. It'll go down as the exact same out as Charlie's, an F6, but two completely different plays. Gagazis ends up popping one up, skying one up the elevator shaft, while Lamparek put a bullet to the third baseman, and again it was Fogel coming up with the out, and then Mackenzie O'Neill was able to get up to bat but ended the top half of the first inning as she grounded out to the second base, Maddie McKay. Back to live action, inside pitch, and just misses for McKay, who, as I mentioned moments ago, did have the out that ended things in the top half of the first, getting that put out at first base. She's now looking with a player in scoring position to try to get things going. Takes a swing at what looked to be an outside pitch, tries to hit it into a hole, but that will be covered. And a good job there by both the outfielder and the second baseman to both be there if they needed to, but they communicated and made sure the second baseman backed off at the last moment, allowed the outfielder the opportunity to make the play.
Coming from a former outfielder, center is the captain out there with everyone else. So if the center fielder calls you off, everyone disperse.
There's a pitch high and outside. It's interesting to think about, but a lot of times I've been told that people really look at the center fielder as a position where you don't need to worry as much about reading the ball, because in the right or left field, as this one is hit to the left fielder right on cue, and it will be caught by the left fielder. Sometimes you have to change the angle that you're running. It might look like it's going right and then curl back on you, or vice versa. Whereas if you're at center field, pretty much it's not about trying to read the ball as much as it's just pure athleticism. That'll put an end to our first inning. 1-0 Williamsburg on top. We'll take a 60-second timeout and be back. You're watching and listening to the girls softball action here in Oskaloosa on the No Coast Network.
Staying healthy has just gotten quicker and easier. Pella Regional Health Center's walk-in clinic is there when you need it. And now you can reserve your spot with convenient online reservations. Goodbye waiting room. Hello walk-in reservations. Go to www.pellahealth.org/walk-in to reserve your spot at Pella Regional's walk-in clinic. Pella Regional Health Center, providing healthcare and healing services with Christian compassion.
Hello, this is Wade Davidson, owner of Rock Island Tap, and I want to invite you to come down and check out the tap. We are excited to offer you 59 various beer selections, including 24 craft and domestic beers. We not only offer unique beers, but we can get you mixed drinks, wine, and my famous vodka and Jameson Bloody Marys. We are looking forward to offering lots of events and live music. You're going to want to keep updated on all activities and live music, so be sure to like us on Rock Island Tap Facebook page or call 641-676-ROCK for more information. Come on down to the Rock Island Tap, relax, and enjoy a few with us.
And welcome back in as we are just about set for the top of the second inning. Carly Campbell will lead things off for Williamsburg with their squad already on top 1-0. And a little bit of a delay there by the official, but he does call strike one on the opening pitch. Campbell catching and is a sophomore. Takes a swing and rips that down the right side. And so, as Cade, you mentioned, a nice day out. I don't think it's going to get too warm. However, you definitely can feel the humidity out there. We'll see if that ends up factoring into any fatigue for the players. Outside pitch, and it looks like catcher Paige Lehman is well versed in the idea of trying to frame a pitch, but that was way too outside for her to have an opportunity to make it look better than it was. Campbell back in the box and rips one over to the left side. An easy play, and they will throw her out as McKay gets that into the glove of the first baseman, Chloe Bossard.
Yep. Eric, we've had a fast start to this game so far. Both teams getting in and out with the bats and the outs. So, yeah, this might be a fun ride.
So up next is Brianna Nail. Nail playing first base for her Williamsburg side. A right-handed batter. And that's the majority of the batters we've seen tonight. And interestingly enough, as this is low, and gets behind the catcher all the way to the backstop. I called a game last night at Montezuma High School, Montezuma versus North Mahaska, and not one batter for either side was a left-handed batter. This with all the pitchers being right-handed as well, so you'd think maybe there'd be somebody who's a switch hitter and batting from the left side of the batter's box. So just the way things have gone so far early in the season, but it's been almost entirely right-handed batters thus far. Nail takes a look at the ball in the dirt. It's 3-1, and that one just misses. I think that was close to being called, but a good eye by the first baseman, and she will head down to where she normally situates herself defensively, this time as a base runner.
You know, the 3-1 count ahead of it probably wasn't going to take a swing there unless it was perfect, so smart choice by the batter, and she got the walk.
And that's the difference as we see the base runner being pinch run for, Riley Metz, coming in her spot. That's the difference in getting ahead in the count. If the pitcher at that point had got herself in a spot where it was maybe a 2-2 count, then the batter much more likely to swing at that to defend, but knowing that she had that extra pitch, was able to afford seeing what the official called there. Here's Elle Ridgway at the plate and swings through strike one, an inside pitch, and this is an opportunity for the North Mahaska squad. They're taking a meeting on the mound. This allows both the base runner, Metz, and the batter, Ridgway, to head down and chat things over with the third base coach. Everybody looks set now. Do want to thank everyone helping out. Jared Buckaloo, our camera operator, and Jimmy Ott, the board op, back at our home station. And normally I would say they're our home station in Oskaloosa, but we're also within the city limits here, as this one is called a strike, however not handled cleanly by the catcher. Lehman unable to squeeze that one through, and it allows the base runner Metz to go ahead and advance a base.
Eric, I think the batter and the base runner had a chance to talk that stealing opportunity before during that timeout.
Would certainly think that that would be something on their mind. That one comes high and tight, so it is a 1-1 count. Again, Metz running for nail, and a pitch outside missing. So now an opportunity, not necessarily a huge advantage either way, but you got to feel comfortable when you're the batter, getting in with a first strike and now getting the count to 2-1. Rips one, and it flutters into the glove of the second baseman. Making the diving play was McKay. However, a good job by the base runner Metz to quickly get back onto second. We've got 2 away.
And that's the difference between getting ahead in the pitch count, as Diacor wasn't putting them right down the spot.
Charlotte Wetjen up at bat. She is a sophomore. Wetjen playing left field, and ended the first inning with her glove. She pops this one up to the left fielder, and it is caught from there. That'll be out number 3. We'll go ahead and head into the middle of the second inning. Same score we had after 1-0. Williamsburg on top. You're listening to girls softball action on the No Coast Network.
Hey everyone, I'm Tyler Van Wilden, your local expert at Malcolm Lumber. At Malcolm Lumber, we pride ourselves in being your local lumberyard. We boast competitive prices that you find at the big box stores and unmatched service that the big box stores can't provide. Our one-on-one service is what sets us apart. Our knowledgeable experts are here ready to help build you a better future. And thanks to the community for having us all these years.
You can continue to find Malcolm Lumber at our 3 locations in Grinnell, Montezuma, and Oskaloosa. Malcolm Lumber is here for you, start to finish.
If you think there's room for improvement in your investment game plan, or that maybe you should send in some new plays, take a time out and talk to an experienced investment professional. I'm Bob Auld of Robert Auld Investments, an investment advisor with over 31 years of experience in Oskaloosa and Southern Iowa. Let me help you find some new strategies. Call 673-9448 or 1-800-444-AULD.
Robert Auld is a registered representative offering securities and investment advisory services through SagePoint Financial Inc., member FINRA and SIPC.
And back here at the Lacey Complex in Oskaloosa, Iowa, Williamsburg clinging to a 1-0 lead. However, they have had the advantage of going through the batting order twice. This is, or I shouldn't say the batting order, but having got to come to bat twice. Ripped down the first base side, and that's going to be a base hit for Chloe Bassard, getting her glove down, but not quite in time was the first baseman. And excuse me, I'm looking at that the other way. The first baseman on the side of Williamsburg is Nail, not able to get that right glove over. Had she been a left-handed first baseman, maybe would have had a little bit easier of a play, but still a difficult one. And hustling all the way down, Bassard ends up at third, so we'll count that as a double and an error.
Yep. Coach is always stressing for right fielders to back up the first base because, you know, sometimes it gets by, and it did right there, and Chloe all the way at third.
Fogel squares away to bunt. It will end up scoring the runner, but it does cause an out, as that was a nice job there by the third baseman trying to look back Bassard and see if she could force her back to the bag. She did cause her to move back ever so slightly, but not enough to end up with the runner retreating all the way back. And so now getting back at it is Jaden Kennenbeck, the pitcher, and also the flex. Pitch is outside and will be taken for a ball by Carly Chandler. So really a nice job by Bassard hustling on her hit, and then there knew exactly how far to go back to prevent getting picked off at third, but then ultimately being able to make that a sacrifice bunt and not just an out.
Yep, textbook baseball from North Mahaska. They knew what they were doing, and they executed very well on that bunt, getting Bassard home and tying the game up 1-1.
In earlier action, as this one is skied foul and causing the fans sitting behind the third base line have to pay attention a little bit. Oskaloosa defeating Sheridan by a score of 7-2. It was Knoxville knocking off Pella Christian 8-3, and EBF all over Pella 8-0. We're on field 2 here at Lacey Complex, as this is ripped to the right side, just over the head of the second baseman, an outstretched glove, but it was Aubrey Walters unable to get that one into her mitt, and so it will be a single. We do have action going on around us. This was an 11 a.m. start time, and the other games over on Field 1, Mount Vernon and Linville Sully. Albia taking on Liberty. As we hear those scores coming in, we will certainly pass them along to you. But then there are going to be 4 more games at the 12:45 start. This North Mahaska squad getting back at it at 2:30. Throw back to the first base side, just in time is the base runner, and she will call for time. And a lot of heart stopped there for the North Mahaska squad as the official took his time in making that call, getting over and making sure he could see everything. Eventually did wave her back safe, but a nice job by the catcher. And that's not just an attempt to make an out, but when you're looking at Campbell there, she's also trying to set up and keep that base runner and future base runners a little bit closer to first base.
That throwdown right there will make the next couple of base runners a little awareness. They'll have that awareness in them that, you know, the catcher's got a cannon and isn't afraid to make the throw down to first.
And it's not just about the arm. As Lehman lays down a bunt, it will advance the runner, and she does sacrifice herself as she is thrown out. But it's also that situational awareness. Sometimes a catcher can throw over there a little bit too often, and it really just kind of tips off her intentions. But that was a sneaky throw down the line and getting around a left-handed batter in the process in Lehman. So now we have Morgan Hudson up to bat wearing number 15. Hudson, another right-handed batter. Lehman, one of the few here batting from the opposite side of the box. This one is thrown well outside for ball 1. And Hudson, coming into the contest, is just a freshman and is 1 for 3 on the young season, batting .333. Runner at second, stays pretty put, and that one upstairs. Looked like Hudson for a moment wanted to chase it, then thought better of it and took it for ball 2.
Stayed disciplined on that one, and is ahead of the pitch count.
So 2-2 the count. And, excuse me, it was 2-0. Looking at the outs there. And then we do have a little bit of a miscue on the score. For a while, it was reading 1-0, and then the scorekeeper trying to get that squared away. It is a 1-1 game. This is chopped just in front of home plate, thrown to first, and the out made there. So the North Mahaska squad unable to get that last runner in scoring position in, but they do even the score at 1 apiece. We'll be back with the third inning. You're listening to girls softball action on the No Coast Network.
The Welcome In Bar and Grill at 209 Walnut Street in downtown Eddyville is the place to meet your friends for good times and great food. Try one of their mouth-watering tenderloins or burgers. And don't forget to order up some delicious appetizers like mac and cheese bites or jalapeno poppers. Stop into the Welcome In Bar and Grill at 209 Walnut Street in downtown Eddyville today, and be sure to like them on Facebook to see daily food and drink specials.
Need to buy or sell real estate in the New Sharon or Oskaloosa area? Call me, Kara Meyer, at Gatton Realty at 641-660-1713, and let me help you with your real estate needs. Whether it's residential, commercial, or land you're looking to buy or sell, I'll use my resources and expertise to find the right buyer or seller for you. All of us at Gatton Realty are proud supporters of North Mahaska. Go Warhawks!
And welcome back in Williamsburg and North Mahaska, knotted up at 1 as we start the third inning. The officials wanting to get everything squared away. They'll have a little bit of a chat as the Williamsburg side coming up to bat. It looks like we are set. And Emma Ducor on the mound, waiting the signal from the official. Down in her stance.
Infield playing way up as Williamsburg looking to bunt right away.
And that is how Aubrey Walters, the leadoff second baseman for Williamsburg, got on base in the opening frame. We'll see if she tries to go the same route here. And that was a swing, but with her moving forward, so trying to catch that defense off guard. Sometimes you lay down a bunt at 1 at bat to try to draw that infield in and then see if you can't get something. But right now, North Mahaska is going to take their chances and keep that infield not only moved in, but moving towards home plate as that ball is headed towards the batter. Outside, ball 2, 2-1 the count. And again, I think they've got the right idea. Walters has not squared away yet, but she's certainly contemplated it with a running bunt a couple of times. But to this point, it's been inconsistency in the strike zone from Ducor. 3-1 the count. A left-handed batter for Williamsburg. And she does bunt one to the pitcher. Pitcher fires, and not in time. A little bit of a double clutch. However, she's out as she rounded towards second base and then did not get back in time. So it goes down as a single, then a base running error. But the pitcher, a little bit with the ball stuck in her glove, fired it over to first in a heads-up play by the first baseman as Bassard applies the tag to a diving Walters.
Never, ever should you ever turn left on your way down to first base. You always turn right towards foul territory. And North Mahaska being alertive and making Williamsburg pay the price for that mistake.
And it's something that I think a lot of times, as this is roped towards the shortstop, she'll fire over to first. No problem for the first baseman, Bassard, who catches with her right hand, the lefty, able to squeeze that one in. So a nice job by Ducor getting that over. But it's the fundamentals, it's those little things that you can see come back and hurt a team. I recall a few years back that in the Little League World Series, a first baseman twice on 2 consecutive groundouts didn't have his foot on the bag, caught it, and then stepped on it. And both times it seemed like that made the difference. The coach coming over and explaining that, hey, we've got to make sure that foot's on the bag there. And same kind of idea made at the first 90 feet of the base path. This one, inside out swing, that'll drop in front of the center fielder in for a single. But it really changes the complex of this at bat, assuming all other things go the same way. But with that ground out too short, I don't think there's any chance they would have been able to turn two had Walters still been at first. So now we'd be talking about one out and either runners at first and second or first and third. Instead, it's a much more pitcher-friendly scenario with two down already, and the defense knowing we can go to second or first and get out of this inning.
Yep. Well said. Kind of relaxes the pitcher. Just will make her a little bit more comfortable, get her strikes in a little bit better. So, yeah.
Catching the outside low corner, and I like that point there, as obviously with a pitcher, you're expecting your defense to make the plays that they're supposed to, but every once in a while maybe stealing out for you, and that's exactly what Bassard did there. She could have just been frustrated with, man, Walters laid down the bunt, she's safe, but she had a heads up and saw the corner of her eye that she turned too far to the left and ended up applying the tag. This one will be fouled up and into the netting of the backstop. But a nice job there. I saw a couple of times in the baseball game I called last night that you could tell one of the pitchers was thinking, man, that should have been an out. We should have been out of this inning. And sometimes that can wear on a pitcher just the opposite here. You've got to imagine that she goes back out onto the mound and Ducour is feeling even more comfortable going, maybe if I don't throw my best pitch, my defense is going to come up with one for me. This one scoops over the third baseman. That was a bad break as it chopped right in front of Brianna Fogel and popped up and over her glove. Fortunately for North Mahaska, they keep the damage to a minimum and they keep that lead runner at second base.
Maybe if it was on the right side, but it happened to be Brianna's backhand or take a bop up, and it's just a tough play to make. So well hit by Williamsburg, and now we got two outs.
And this one popped up but foul on the left side. And so again, you talked about before the importance of having those fielders, the outfielders, backing up the infielders. And in that situation, that's exactly what it was. Fogel wasn't able to get there in time to get the out, but the left fielder being there, being cognizant, and then quickly relaying it in and accurately kept the lead runner, Hollub, back at second base. So a foul off here, and it keeps the count at 0-2, 2 outs in the inning. And right now, as we talked about, that confidence coming for Emma Ducour. She knows that despite the fact that she's given up 3 hits in this inning, she can get out of it relatively unscathed, maybe a little bit larger of a pitch count than she wanted, but she can get out of it without the damage coming on the scoreboard if she can make a good pitch here. Just outside, but with that 0-2 count, I like that. See if you can get the batter to chase one outside of the strike zone.
Of course, and Emma's pitching with a lot of confidence. I think that's mostly in regards to how her infield and outfield have backed her up this inning. So yeah, she's pitching with high confidence, and that's confidence is huge for a pitcher. I mean, if you're rolling with high confidence, you're more likely to, gun them in there harder and more accurate with more strikes. So yeah.
I call a lot of hockey games, and there's a lot of comparisons between a hockey goaltender and a pitcher in that, yep, you're going to get some, make some mistakes, and they're going to end up counting for runs for the other team. However, you've got to have no memory. You've got to go, okay, that last player got a good hit or took me a yard, but the next time they come up, you just got to have that confidence to go, this guy's not getting on base.
Yep. Quick memory, short-term memory, get it rolling the next pitch or the next hit after.
And number 7, Mackenzie O'Neill, with a nice at-bat here. Fell down 0-2 in the count, drawn it to 2-2, and has several times fouled off a pitch to keep herself alive. This one is skied, and it will be out of play. in as far as being in bounds, but still caught by the catcher, as it was Lehman having to make a tough play going away from her body, but able to squeeze that one into her mitt. So we've played 2.5. It is 1-1 on the scoreboard. We'll come back with more girls softball action. It's Williamsburg and North Mahaska on the Note Coast Network.
Oskaloosa Vision Center's hometown doctors have strong roots in Oskaloosa and are dedicated to serving the community. We use state-of-the-art equipment to provide high-quality, professional eye care through comprehensive eye exams, medical care for eye infection and disease treatment, as well as emergency aid and pre- and post-operative care. With our large variety of prescription glasses, sunglasses, and contact lenses, we strive to meet the needs of all patients, from newborn to adult. Oskaloosa Vision Center. Come see us today.
Hawkeye Real Estate is your one-stop source for everything real estate in Mahaska County and the surrounding area. Whether commercial, residential, or acreages, we've got you covered with the area's largest pool of real estate professionals, full-time support staff, and property management services. With over $19 million in sales volume for 2016, Hawkeye continues to be Oskaloosa's leading real estate office. Discover what thousands already know. When it's time to make a move, get the Hawkeye Edge.
North Mahaska coming up to bat in the bottom of the third inning, still deadlocked at 1 apiece. You can ignore the scoreboard if you're watching the stream. That reads 0-0, but we can confirm 1-1 the score. And taking the opening pitch, as it was a little bit high, is Zoe Ducour. Ducour, a freshman, started off the game for the Warhawks with a double, however, was not able to advance past second, as there was a ground out and a couple of flyouts to end the first inning. Through 2 innings, North Mahaska scored 1 run on 3 hits and have left 2 on base. Ducour, Chloe Bassard, and Carly Chandler picking up the hits for North Mahaska. The Raiders of Williamsburg on the mound is Jaden Kennebeck. Kennebeck winds, windmills, and deals. That will be off the mark, and it will bring up a 3-0 count. Interesting to see what Ducour does. Oftentimes you'll see a batter given the take sign the whole way at 3-0, but with a leadoff batter, she's swinging away. She skies one, and it drops in, and she will end up at first base, getting just between, finding that Bermuda Triangle, no man's land, between the left fielder, shortstop, and third base. I think that part of the reason that they were going ahead and giving her the swing away sign is that they know that Ducour's got some power. It's funny that inevitably, had she taken 2 or 3 pitches and ended up getting a walk, it ends up being the same result with her on first either way.
Yep. Had a nice little blooper there, as you said, the Bermuda Triangle. That's a good analogy. But yeah, it just dropped right in that little safe zone. And, you know, you had 3 Raiders around it, but they all couldn't get to it. So nice hit by Ducour. And then, you know, just that'll also help relieve the stress, relieve the nerves from the other batters when they get up to the plate, knowing that their leadoff got on safely. And it'll just kind of relax them and hopefully give them, you know, just a little bit of confidence. We got a new pitcher on the mound for the Raiders, number 3, Charlie Giagais.
And so she'll get her opportunity to warm up here as she plays a little pitch and catch with Carly Campbell. We'll actually go ahead and take a quick break here, and we'll be back again. 1 runner on, nobody out. Bottom of the third, 1-1 between Williamsburg and North Mahaska. You're watching and listening to the girls softball action. And actually, we're going to go ahead and keep it right here, as I thought that we'd maybe have time to squeeze in a 30-second break. But it looks like the officials are ready to go. At the midway point of the second inning right now, Mount Vernon on top of Linville Sully, 2-0 Albia and Liberty are in the third, and to this point, that game is scoreless. So to recap where we're at, Zoe Ducour is at first, and a low pitch. Nice job getting behind that Carly Campbell to make sure that the base runner is not able to advance. Marcy DeJong at the dish, righty on righty, going upstairs with the pitch.
Yeah, guys, looks like she has a little bit more speed and power to her pitches than the previous pitcher. So let's see if that'll maybe make the North Mahaska team a little bit, have them a different approach.
An inside pitch misses. She's had 1 start and 2 appearances. This is now her third on the young season with a record of 1-1. Has pitched 7 innings and a batting average for the opponents at .286 and a 5 earned run average. Obviously a small sample size and probably one of those where taking a look at their other 2 pitchers, Kennebec came in with a .55 ERA, Peyton Driscoll 0.69. So probably to this point, it's just been as this one has popped up to the left side. Third baseman comes away with it, squeezes it, and making the out is Hollub. But probably a situation where she just kind of gotten the brunt end of it when the other team's bats have come alive. Just happens to be when she's been on the mound.
Yep, for sure.
So Kennebec out on the mound, I should say. And Gieggeis elevating that one. Looked like she just held onto it for a split second too long. And obviously in softball with the underhand pitch, that caused it to really get up. And again, a good job by the catcher. Campbell's had a couple of times to get low. That one having to leave both of her feet to make sure that base runner stayed at first. Rope down the left field line and foul as everybody will return back to where they were. But I don't think that missed necessarily by much. She got a good swing on it, just a little bit out in front of it.
It must have been a changeup pitch by the pitcher, as you know they've been slinging them in quite a bit lately. So must have took her off guard.
So after starting out with a couple of losses, as this one is hit to the left side, and everyone will move up 1 base. Ducour over to second. Maddie McKay, after flying out to the center fielder back in the first, gets a hit, and Emma Ducour will come up to bat with her sister in scoring position, trying to knock her through. At West Delaware, Williamsburg dropped a couple to start the season a week ago Thursday, and this one knocked down. It will be a ball, and for a moment looked like they wanted to run and advance on Campbell. Campbell had other thoughts. After losing the opening 2 at West Delaware 2-0 and 6-4, this Williamsburg team is riding a 4-game winning streak as they defeated Grinnell, Albia, and Independence twice. Knocked to the left side and thrown over, not in time. And so the officials are going to talk about this one. It looked like as Ducour was coming across, Williamsburg's making a case that the base runner interfered and impeded with the shortstop. I don't necessarily see it as that, but wouldn't be surprised if they go with that call. We'll see what they do.
Looks like they're going to play it out, leave it as it is. I thought she did a nice job of, disguising herself with the interference, but didn't really make it too noticeable. But well played by Diacor as she was running from second to third. She kind of hesitated, got in the way of the ball, and allowed all the runners to be safe. And we got bases loaded with 1 out. It's Chloe Bossard up to bat.
It's the equivalency in hockey of a player screening the goaltender, or in football of a defensive back trying to get their hands in the face of a receiver to prevent him from seeing it. What she did was slowed down, which is a dangerous situation. Had the shortstop been able to quickly scoop and tag, might have been able to pull off a double play, but you could tell that it flustered the shortstop ever so slightly as she didn't see that one cleanly into her mitt, and because of it, it might have been the difference between us now looking at 2 outs and 2 on versus the bases loaded, just 1 out in the inning. And up to bat is Chloe Bassard, who started things off in her first at bat with a double and could come through huge if she could repeat that performance here. This one again outside, out of the strike zone, and once again we see Campbell showing her weight in gold as she keeps everybody at bay at the bases they're already at.
And I've watched Chloe for the past 3 years now. She used to be an Oskaloosa Indian, transferred this year to North Mahaska. This is what she wants right now. Bases loaded, 1 out.
And it will be popped up to the left fielder. However, it will end up going down as a... And they are not able to get the runner back in time. So the runner from third advancing and scoring was Zoe Ducour. McKay and Emma Ducour on second and first. And actually, it was Emma nearly getting picked off as she was trying to tag up but didn't see that McKay was still at second base. So in the end, it just ends up going as an F7 and an RBI sac fly. And it gives the Warhawks their first lead of the contest. Here, both the base runners looking to advance, but that was foul tip. That's why Campbell couldn't come up with it.
McKay must have got stuck looking at the throw down to home, as she probably should have tagged up and moved on, advanced on to third base. That's what the base runner on first thought was going to happen. So just a little bit of miscommunication by the two.
Swinging through, and that is strike 2 on Fogel. And I'm curious if she wasn't concerned that perhaps the throw from the left fielder was one of knowing that it wouldn't get there in time. She's got to, as she's going to third, got to be cognizant that the left fielder doesn't throw to the shortstop or the third baseman, particularly if they'd been able to get her out before the run had crossed the plate, but that ends up not mattering. Fogel swings through, strike 3, and our third inning comes to an end, but the North Mahaska Warhawks take a 2-1 lead. We'll be back with the 4th inning on your home for girls softball action, KMZN and the No Coast Network.
At Mahaska Drug in Oskaloosa, getting your prescription filled is easy. The large covered drive-thru and easy access to the front door is convenient, and the friendly staff is always ready to help you. With a variety of goods and home decor, Mahaska Drug is sure to have the perfect gift for any occasion. Have your favorite photos developed and framed at Mahaska Drug's framing counter, and cherish your memories for years to come. It's all at Mahaska Drug in Oskaloosa, where they have been committed to a healthy community for over 20 years. Call 673-3439 or stop in today.
See what See First has for you. Crazy good rates. Complete convenience. Cash for what you need. Capital to grow. Join the crowd. Try us. Join us. Because together is better.
North Mahaska heads into the 4th inning with the slimmest of leads at 2-1. They come in with a record of 1-3 and delivering strike 1 just on the inside corner. The offering is to Carly Campbell. Campbell 0 for 1 in the ball game. Will make it 1 for 2 as she slaps one over to the left side in for a single. And for Campbell on the year, now hitting 5 for 19. This will bring the first baseman, Brianna Nail, up to bat.
No better feeling for a coach than having your leadoff, start off with a nice line drive, advancing on to first. No better feeling. Let's get this inning rolling is what he's saying to his girls right now, as it just boosts a little bit of more confidence into the rest of the team.
Well, and certainly you talk about clutch hitting, and everyone I think always brings up the stat of how good a batter or a team is with 2 outs. But I think that there's no more important at bat than that first of the inning, because it really sets the tone going forward and it changes the at bat completely. Here, the North Mahaska squad more concerned with whether they can prevent Nail from getting a sacrifice bunt down, throw an inside pitch to try to make it more difficult to bunt, and end up hitting her. So it will be a hit by pitch that will advance Brianna Nail. Campbell over to second. Now L. Ridgway is up, and with 2 on, nobody out, they're probably thinking with 1 on and nobody out, all right, let's see if we can lay down a sac bunt and see if we can't chip away at a lead. Now they've got to be thinking this might be a 2-3 run type of an inning. Grounded over to the second baseman. She'll step on second, and then kind of got caught up there. A little bit of a miscommunication there. They, most importantly, do get the out. But McKay, unassisted, gets the out at second. It's a fielder's choice, but you kind of want to see there either a toss of the shortstop or the shortstop back off. In essence, both of them end up on second base, and that just a little bit of delay as she's trying to make a throw over. Not enough time to get that done, so perhaps a missed opportunity for the Warhawks, and perhaps a gift that Williamsburg, the Raiders, can try to cash in on.
Yep, they have a chance to get 2 runners in scoring position, assuming the base runner at first takes a steal this time. And, you know, the Raiders have put themselves in great position to start this inning. If you're looking for North Mahaska, you need Diakor to steal an out right here on the pitching mound, or the pitching circle. If she can get an out right here, you're looking to even things up and still sneak away with this inning.
And so running on the play right away was Williamsburg's, I believe that was Kylie Coley, who is pinch running. She gets the second and immediately takes away that double play option. They lay down a bunt, check the runner at third. They'll go to first, back home, double play! Applying the tag perfectly was Lehman. We'll score that as 6-4-2. And so Williamsburg unable to capitalize. They had the first 2 runners on. They had runners at first and third, just 1 out. And North Mahaska makes the play with the glove. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th with the Warhawks on top 2-1. You're listening to girls softball action on the No Coast Network.
Keep up to date on what's going on at the Quincy Place Mall in Ottumwa by joining our text club today. Simply text QPM to 64600. You will receive reminders of our sidewalk sales and other events. Also, when you join our text club, you will be entered for a chance to win a gift certificate. So join our text club today. Text QPM to 64600, and don't forget to like us on Facebook. We'll see you at the Quincy Place Mall at 1110 North Quincy Avenue in Ottumwa.
We all need help from time to time, especially during life's health transitions. Whether you're getting back on your feet or looking for a new place to call home, Care Initiatives is here. For over 25 years, we've helped Iowans maintain independence and quality of life. Rehabilitation, skilled nursing, long-term care, hospice care. No matter what life brings, our team of experts are ready. Care Initiatives for life's health transitions.
And we are back here from the Lacey Complex in Oskaloosa, Iowa. It is a beautiful day, and we're hoping that that stays true, as we will have more games broadcast for you right here on the No Coast Network. A 4-pack of games, however, none that we will be broadcasting. Coming up at 12:45, Ottumwa versus Liberty, West Burlington and Pella, Pella Christian and Sheridan, Albia versus Newton. However, this North Mahaska Warhawk squad will take on Norwalk at 2:30. Right here on Field 2, we'll have the call of that one. At the same time, Ottumwa will be taking out Mount Vernon, Linville Sully and Williamsburg, and Knoxville versus Newton. And then the late games at 4:15. West Burlington versus Oskaloosa, and Norwalk versus Eddyville, Blakesburg, Fremont. Again, I'll have the call of the Norwalk versus North Mahaska game at 2:30, and at 4:15, Joe Lancello with the West Burlington versus Oskaloosa game. 1-0 the count. Bottom of the fourth, swinging through, and it's a base hit, roped into left field, getting a good stick on that and advancing herself down the first base line. This will end up bringing Lehman up to bat, and it was Carly Chandler who was able to get good contact there, just as we talked about with the Raiders in the last half inning. Same situation, North Mahaska playing with house money as they get the leadoff runner on base.
And now they're just simple softball, trying to advance the runner here with laying down a bunt. Let's see if they can get it done.
And I apologize, as earlier I'd said North Mahaska coming in with a record of 1-3. Looking at stats that were printed before, the quick stats Iowa High School Athletic Association's website had been updated. They were victorious last night at Montezuma by a final score of 17-4. And again, that means that any stats that we've given off before on the Warhawk side wouldn't have included that. I imagine everybody's batting average probably went up a little bit last night for the Warhawk side, and a good chance that maybe an ERA or two went down. This ball will get away from Campbell, the catcher, and so Chandler will take the free base and ends up in scoring position. Now this really changes things with the Lehman at bat. Going in, it looked like she was willing to make a sacrifice bunt. With a 2-0 count now, she's probably much more likely to try to swing away and make this a big inning for North Mahaska. Missing outside 3-0. So in this situation, Cade, you've got the opportunity to try to say, do you in this situation give her the take any pitch sign, or are you letting her swing away?
I'm letting her take the pitch for this one.
The coaching staff disagreeing. She takes a swing there. However, I like the thought process there, especially when you take a look at Hudson coming up next. Then it's the top of the order. At this point, you're just looking to get as many people on base as possible to see if that core nucleus of the team can come through. However, it did look like she swung at a good pitch, so I don't think it would have mattered whether she had swung or not. And here ends up striking out a little bit behind that pitch, so perhaps the pitcher for Williamsburg, the Raiders, and Jaden Kennebeck might be able to, like the Warhawks did as a team defensively, try to dig herself out of a hole here.
She made her chase, the North Mahaska batter chase that one as it was outside. Didn't have a chance of getting that one.
Yeah, it was an awkward swing. I think it was close, and with 2 strikes, I don't fault her for swinging at it, but sometimes that's the key to a good pitcher is a pitcher can get a strikeout and make you just look like you missed the ball, but a great pitcher can make you look really awkward doing it, and that's what it was, is Lehman just looked like she didn't have her feet set there. Offering for a bunt and fouling it backwards is Morgan Hudson. Hudson ended up swinging, but ended up hitting one right in front of the catcher back in the second inning and was thrown out at first to end the second inning. Here, with a different scenario, she's got just one out, runner on second, and trying to advance the runner. Hits one over to the left side. It'll keep the runner at first for now, and it will be a throwing error to first, and it will allow her to move to second, and scoring on the play is Carly Chandler. So Chandler doing the right thing there, waiting out the shortstop, making sure she was close enough to the bag where it wouldn't allow her to get picked off. But then as soon as that ball was thrown across, she makes the move, and then a nice job hustling down the line. Morgan Hudson, it will end up being a throwing error, and it will allow Hudson to get to second, and now Kai Bodner, the flex position, will come in and pinch run for her. And again, not only do the Warhawks add a run to their score, they're now up 3-1 and have scored in 3 consecutive innings, but as we talked about, now just one out, runner in scoring position, and here comes the top of the lineup for the Warhawks.
Yeah, definitely. North Mahaska hopefully can take advantage of the position they're in right now and add some more runs and secure their lead more safely.
Yeah, it's been, as you hear some fans there calling, it was actually to let some bystanders know. We've got a lot of fields in close vicinity, so it's not just about watching the game you're on, but maybe the one to the field next to you. And getting a good hit on that is Ducor. That'll get to the left field fence. She's looking for extra bases and coming around to score. Ducor will hold at second. But coming around is Bodner, pinch running for Hudson. And for the first time in the contest, we've got a multiple run inning for one side, and North Mahaska increases their lead. Warhawks on top 4-1.
Yep, Ducor, she kept her head down on that one and took a nice swing, turned her hips, got her whole body into that one, and it slapped the fence. Nice hit from Ducor on that one.
Macy DeYoung, the junior, playing center field. 0 for 2 in the contest. Two for 11 on the season. And chops one down the right side. Sometimes early on in a season, you'll see a player like DeYoung in that second spot, but the numbers aren't quite there yet. And again, small sample size. That tells me that the coaching staff knows that despite the fact that she's struggled at bat, probably been hitting some hard just at players and just hasn't gotten those breaks to fall in. But you can tell because the Warhawks have left her in the 2 spot that they've got confidence that by year's end, she's going to be one of the better hitters for this Warhawks squad.
And I'm looking for this North Mahaska Warhawks team in the future to be, right up there as making it to state for the softball tournament. They got a lot of good players, got a lot of good athletes, and could do some damage potentially in the postseason this year.
And as you mentioned that, they do have quite a number of players that will be around for a while. Bossard, just a junior, as is Chandler. Knuckle, DeYoung, Lehman, all key parts of this squad, and all will be playing for a season beyond this.
Yeah, but not only that, but they have, the veterans on their team as well. They have just the right amount of seniors to, help show those younger classmen, the ways of how it works and to get them ready for postseason battle and, just the grind of the season.
So DeYoung strikes out, and then on the first pitch, McKay grounds out to the third baseman. That will put an end to the 4th inning, but North Mahaska gets their damage in as they score 2 and take a 3-run lead going into the 5th. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back. You're listening to girls softball action on the No Coast Network.
Need to buy or sell real estate in the New Sharon or Oskaloosa area? Call me, Kara Meyer, at Gatton Realty at 641-660-1713 and let me help you with your real estate needs. Whether it's residential, commercial, or land you're looking to buy or sell, I'll use my resources and expertise to find the right buyer or seller for you. All of us at Gatton Realty are proud supporters of North Mahaska. Go Warhawks!
The Welcome In Bar and Grill at 209 Walnut Street in downtown Eddyville is the place to meet your friends for good times and great food. Try one of their mouth-watering tenderloins or burgers. And don't forget to order up some delicious appetizers like mac and cheese bites or jalapeno poppers. Stop into the Welcome In Bar and Grill at 209 Walnut Street in downtown Eddyville today, and be sure to like them on Facebook to see daily food and drink specials.
Back here at the Lacey Complex in Oskaloosa. Again, we want to thank you for joining us. Jared Buckaloo, our camera operator, Cade Snakenberg, my color commentator, and Jimmy Ott running the board as our producer and engineer back at the station just down the road in Oskaloosa. Swinging through on the opening pitch and Emma Ducour back on the mound for the 5th inning. Sometimes when a team, especially early on where Williamsburg was able to get a few batters on base in the 1st inning and score a run, this is bunted down to third just in time. Was the base runner to keep it a base hit for Aubrey Walters. But early on, I think that the goal of Williamsburg had to not only be to get some runs up, but try to get that pitch count up and see if they could chase Ducour early. As of right now, it looks like Emma's showing no signs of slowing down.
No. She seems to be North Mahaska's ace right now, and she's kind of in the zone as she has given up some hits, but her defense has backed up behind her and just been stellar so far this game.
And speaking of Ducour, it was Zoe Ducour trying to apply a tag from the throw by Lehman, but it ends up being Walters with a stolen base. And you can tell that's just the type of baseball, or softball, I should say, that the Raiders want to play. Is Walters is a speedster, and while she's capable of hitting, they're willing to try to get her to bunt in almost any situation. And they know that if they can just get her on base, she can do some damage. Here, Gagazis is swinging on the second pitch and tried to pop it over the head of McKay, but McKay backtracking, had to make a difficult play, but comes up with the out, and that keeps Walters at second base.
And that's a tough play for McKay, as you know, we're approaching the noon hour. The sun right in her eyes is for that pop up. She shielded her eyes from her hand and was able to come down under the ball and make the catch.
Number 21, Jill Hollub up next. She is 2 for 2 in the contest to this point, and on the season batting 7 for 16. So in the 400 batting average, pretty good. Again, a small sample size early in the season, but it's good to see. Sometimes early on in the season, the bats take a little while to wake up. Obviously, as this one is hit down to the third baseman, she gloves it, tries to make the double play. Walters will get back in time, but Hollub rips one down the line, and to this point, Fogel's been tested a number of times, including 2 sharply hit balls, one here in the 5th, one in the 1st, and she's come up aces so far. Getting back to that last point, sometimes it's a little bit easier for the pitchers to start out the season strong because, you like to warm up against live batting, but it's easier in the offseason to get that throwing motion, and you can throw against pretty much anything. You can throw against a backstop, a wall, or playing with a catcher. For the hitters, it's difficult to react to that live pitching again once the weather gets nice. And obviously, even when we haven't had cold weather lately, we've often had rain, which has prevented some of these players from getting out as much as they would have liked. Lehman dives to her right, trying to get to a foul ball and catch up with it, unable to, so it will keep the at-bat alive for Lamperick.
Going back to your point, in the winter, I could always remember my dad taking me out to my grandpa's shed, and he'd have a tire, and we'd be pitching into, trying to pitch inside the hole of the tire. So, excellent point on that one.
That one will get away from Lehman, so Walters with a bunt single, stole second, and now on a passed ball gets to third. She's 90 feet away from getting one across for Williamsburg. And just outside, no, a delayed call. Didn't see an initial signal, but the official rings her up for a strike 3. Looking Lamperick goes down, and so once again, we talk about Ducour having to battle, having to get a little bit tested there, but she comes through in the clutch. We'll go into the bottom of the 5th with Williamsburg trailing the North Mahaska Warhawks 4-1. You're watching and listening to girls softball action on the No Coast Network.
Fred's Muffler Shop in Oskaloosa has been a family-owned and operated business for over 55 years and is proud to support our community and the student athletes in it. Fred's Muffler provides their customers with bumper-to-bumper quality work done with hometown dependability and competitive prices. Come see what's new at Fred's Muffler Shop in the brand new showroom located at 1214 A Avenue West in Oskaloosa.
Hi, I'm Edward Jones Financial Advisor Amber Coffey.
I'm Edward Jones Financial Advisor Brandon Kane.
I'm Edward Jones Financial Advisor Jennifer Main.
I'm Edward Jones Financial Advisor Jason Rosenboom.
I'm Edward Jones Financial Advisor Austin Norris.
If your saving for retirement strategy involves the phrase, "I'll get around to it someday," you need to talk with an Edward Jones Financial Advisor. When it comes to meeting your goals, time can be on your side, and there's no better time than now to get started toward your retirement goals. For sound financial advice, contact your local Edward Jones professional today. Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
And swinging on the second pitch, Emma Ducour with a stand-up double, just able to get it past the third baseman. Outstretched glove, but unable to catch up with it was the third baseman, and they've changed around, so I'll verify who that was, as it started out as Charlie Gegazis, but she's now pitching. I believe it's Holub, but we'll confirm here in a moment. Either way, it is Emma Ducour trying to help her own cause. The pitcher of record now on second. It's hit to the right side, so it will be an out, but Bossard in essence there by hitting it to that side. It's almost like a swinging sac fly bunt, and it does the job as Ducour advances one more base. This will bring up Brianna Fogel.
Yeah, the only bad thing would have been if she happened to hit the ground ball to shortstop, as it probably would have stopped the runner from advancing to third.
So Fogel, 0 of 2 in the contest, 2 of 10 on the season. Gegazis with the delivery. It's chopped slowly to short. They get the out there, but safe at home. Nice job by the base runner, timing that out perfectly. Maybe could have taken off a split second earlier, but Ducour is able to lead with the toe of her cleat on the slide, and the difference there, as Fogel grounds out to the shortstop, was that the first baseman, Nail, able to get the throw home quickly, but just a little bit off target. If she'd put that one right on where Campbell wanted it, might have been able to get the out, but it forced Campbell to go a little bit to the right and then have to go back to the left. This is grounded to the third baseman, and a fantastic dig there by the first baseman. Brianna Nail nearly pulled off the bag as the throw was short to the home plate side of the bag, but she's able to make an acrobatic catch and end the inning. We'll come back top of 6, 5-1. North Mahaska on top. You're listening to girls softball action on the No Coast Network.
Falvey Lumber and Hardware in Eddyville and Albia is dedicated to providing their customers with friendly service. Falvey Lumber and Hardware values your business and has made it their mission to provide reliable products and services with their customer-driven approach. Falvey's courteous professional team is able to support a range of services to meet your requirements. Falvey Lumber and Hardware in Eddyville and Albia. In Eddyville, call 969-4814 or Albia 932-2150.
At Kinetic Edge Physical Therapy, we're proud to keep the Oskaloosa Indians and their fans safe and feeling good on and off the field. Kinetic Edge Physical Therapy is the expert in injury care, orthopedics, and sports rehab, with a new facility in Oskaloosa, complete with an open gym area in addition to several private treatment rooms. If pain is bugging you, come see the experts at Kinetic Edge for a free injury screen. Find out more, including why the Oskaloosa Indians trust Kinetic Edge, at kineticedgept.com.
And like an assassin, Ducour just keeps going back at it. One pitch, one out, as Williamsburg's Mackenzie O'Neill grounds out back to the pitcher, and so one down here in the sixth. And we talked about how clutch Ducor has been. How about this stat line? Williamsburg, through 5 innings, has 1 run on 8 hits. 8 times they've been able to swing the bat and get on base, and all it's produced for them has been 1 lone run. A lot of that credit goes to Ducor. Even more of it probably goes to our infielders, as they've played fantastic defense.
Yep, they've been real sharp so far. Not a lot of errors. They've been playing smart, playing safe, and I'm real impressed with this North Mahaska squad right now.
Again, through 5 innings, it has been North Mahaska with 5 runs shut out in the first 2 in the fourth, and then 1 run in every other inning this far. They've just seemed systematic in creating offense. It hasn't been by the long ball. It hasn't been by a ton of extra base hits. It's just been getting players on base, playing smart softball, advancing them, some good base running. They've also taken advantage when Williamsburg has made an error in the field, and Campbell goes down swinging for out number 2. It'll bring up number 31, Brianna Nail. Williamsburg's Nail is a junior and comes in to the game with struggling, just 1 for 16. However, 1 for 1 in this contest. She's reached base safely twice, and she got a single back in the second. And when she was looking to bunt in the 4th inning, was hit by an inside pitch. And she's ahead in the count, 3-0, as Ducor again has been pitching the first baseman inside consistently.
She's been liking that inside pitch, as you've mentioned. It's been her go-to. It's almost been her best friend in this entire game. And then every once in a while she'll sneak that outside pitch in and get the batter looking on that strike. So she's a senior, veteran. She's done this before. She knows what she's doing, and you can tell definitely by the way she's performed so far.
So with a break in the action, as the North Mahaska coaching staff will come out, have a chat on the mound, and looks like they're ready to go. Do want to mention that last time we had checked in with Albia and Liberty, it was a scoreless game. Well, scoreless no more. Albia up 10-0 in the 3rd. Abby Griffin hit a grand slam for Albia, and as we were talking about off air, this is chopped back to the pitcher and thrown to first, an easy out in a 1-2-3 inning. We know that score was 0-0 in the 3rd, so all 10 of those runs coming in the 3rd, all 3 of those outs in quick fashion, and O'Neill and Nail grounding out to the pitcher, while Campbell struck out, so nobody able to get a ball for Williamsburg even past the mound there in the top of the 6th. We'll take a quick 30-second break, and we'll be back with more softball action right here from Lacey Complex in Oskaloosa and on KMZN and the No Coast Network.
For all your home and business pest management needs, call Certified Pest Control of Oskaloosa. Beth and I offer better prices, better service, same-day responses, and satisfaction guaranteed. We are the only pest control company locally owned and operated. Remember, termites on your property will lead to wood structural damage. So call now for your termite inspection and ask about termite pre-treatment of new construction. We also offer bed bug heat treatments. For seasonal or monthly pest control at the guaranteed lowest prices in the area, call Certified Pest Control, 641-295-0700. We are licensed to kill.
And we are in the bottom half of the 6th inning with North Mahaska on top, leading by a score of 5-1. Had mentioned that Williamsburg had generated just 1 run on 8 hits, and that remains the case. This one is popped up and gloved, and the first out made by the shortstop. Getting a glove on that was Aubrey Walters. Walters started out at second with the pitching change, moved over to the shortstop position. Should mention now on the other side of things is that was Lehman flying out, and now they make quick order of Morgan Hudson, who grounds out to the third baseman for the second out of the inning that it has been just one more hit for North Mahaska as they've scored 5 runs on 9 hits. But again, we talked about how much damage they've done on the base pass, and a lot of that has just been timely hitting, but a lot of it's been sacrifices. We've seen a number of times where the batter is willing to advance the runner and give themselves up on the out, and then every once in a while, we've called her name a number of times. Carly Campbell has been fantastic behind the plate, but there have been a couple of times where a timely ball has gotten past her, and that's caused some damage for the Raiders. Bobbled, but held onto by the center fielder as it is finally squeezed through. It was Mackenzie O'Neill, the senior, popped it up to herself and then caught it right off of her chest. We will end the 6th inning with a 5-1 lead for North Mahaska. We'll come back for the top of the 7th. You're listening to girls softball action on KMZN and the No Coast Network.
Last year, the Bank Iowa team completed almost 9,000 community service hours. Oofta! That's more hours than a year contains. It's refreshing to see a bank that cares. That's actually why I chose to bank with Bank Iowa. They're a local bank that invests in community, and the community that matters most is the one that we're both a part of. Visit your local Bank Iowa location to learn more about our personal, commercial, and agricultural banking services, or go online to bankiowa.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
For over 30 years, Pella Printing has been leading the way in the print industry with quality equipment, modern facilities, and skilled staff. The Pella approach combines old-world craftsmanship with today's cutting-edge technology to provide brilliant printed products at a value price. They take the time to understand clients' needs from design to pre-press to printing and delivery to build lasting relationships with their customers. Whether you need personalized graduation announcements, oversized posters and banners, marketing materials, or stationery, Pella Printing offers a broad assortment of quality printed products done with speed and precision. Pella Printing, where technology and craftsmanship meet.
And L. Ridgway wastes no time swinging at the first pitch, pops it up, and it is gloved by the second baseman, Madison McKay. So now quickly, North Mahaska 2 outs from a victory, and Charlotte Wetjen, a sophomore, swings through the first one, 0 for 2 in the contest as she flew out to the left fielder in her first at-bat and then had that inning-ending double play as she grounded out to the to the shortstop, throw over to first, but then the second out came when the runner on third tried to advance and unable to. So we say there the inning-ending double play. Obviously, those both aren't on her. It was the base runner deciding to try to push that issue. And you really can't fault Williamsburg with the way that this defense of North Mahaska and the pitching of Ducor. They realized that they're going to have to manufacture runs, and there it was a close play, needed a bang-bang throw from short to first, then to home, but North Mahaska doing what needs to be done. Knocked down by the pitcher, throws over to first, and it is the second out. And I loved what I saw there out of the pitcher. So Ducor knocks it down but doesn't glove it cleanly. Sometimes you'll see a player, you can just see that panic in them. Mm-hmm. She was cool as a cucumber, realized that she had plenty of time, and made a nice, accurate throw over to first.
Yeah, for sure. Looking like the ice woman out there. Cool, calm, collective, taking her time, knows she had time, and, didn't make a mistake or mess up.
And difficult to do, throws a strike on a batter that's looking to bunt. This time it'll even things up at 1-1, but the lefty, it's difficult to throw a strike to a bunting hitter simply because you're really trying to make sure you don't give up anything down the middle. Again, missing this time to the outside, and Walters trying to get to first and prolong this game. But a great move there by Ducor, finding a way to get ahead in the count early on. Now it's gone to 2-1, make it 3-1. And so with the core of the lineup coming up. Important for Walters. Try to extend this game.
Yeah, and, Walters is, a left-handed batter, so bunting and trying to get to first is a little bit hard because she's got to turn around and sprint to first. So you'd almost wonder if you just, let her bunt so you could, because you have a high chance of throwing her out. It'll take some time to get to first.
Well, she's got the proximity working for her, but as you said, when she squares up, it's almost like that's working against her, whereas a right-handed batter can kind of bunt and run all in one motion.
Yep.
She fouls off strike 2, and then a running swing down the first base line and fouls that one away as well. So now the crowd's starting to come to their feet and make some noise as we are just a strike away from this one being in the books. If Ducour can put one past Walters. Upstairs, and that will advance Walters to first and bring up Charlie Gagazis, who is 0 for 3 in the contest, has flied out to the shortstop and the second baseman, as well as grounding out to the shortstop. She is 6 for 22 on the season with a batting average of around 300. And that'll go up ever so slightly as she hits one over past the shortstop. And there Walters knows that it's nice if she can advance to third, as then it doesn't force her to move on the next bat, but she also knows situational softball. They're 1 out away from this game being over. The last thing you can afford there is to get caught trying to advance. They realize at this point that the bats are going to have to get hot in order for them to advance this game. And they do just that, as that's knocked down. And now an opportunity for Walters. Much easier for her to go an extra base from third to home than from second to third when the ball is hit into left field. Again, we see the left fielder, Morgan Hudson, playing good defensive softball as Holub gets the RBI single. You can afford there to give up a single base hit. What you can't afford is to let both runners move into not only scoring position, but then also get themselves in a situation where they're no longer a force out. By Hudson knocking that down and getting it in quickly, now they've still got to play at first, second, or third to end the contest. Lehman squeezes that one, and quickly the count 0-2 on Megan Lamparek. She did get caught looking back in the fifth. We'll see what Ducour does, whether she goes for the jugular here or wastes one, and she does go with an outside pitch. However, Lamparek go ahead and takes a swing at it, fouls it off, and keeps the game alive.
I like the no quit from Williamsburg as they have put up a little 2-out rally in this inning. Definitely their do or die time right now, so trying to stay alive and, pull up a comeback.
This one will be skied out of play down the first base side. A souvenir for someone, although they'll be tossing that back to the officials here momentarily. And Ducour, you've got to imagine that it's important for her not only to try to come up with a win in the first game of 2 games here, but to go the distance, knowing that that leaves all the other players eligible and with full arms. Thrown over from third to first, and that will end it as Fogel gets it into the hand of Bassard. And while Williamsburg gets one there at the end, it will not be enough. 5-2 North Mahaska with the victory. We'll come back with your post-game show. You've been watching and listening to girls softball action on the No Coast Network.
Water is more than just a source of life. We have fun with it, clean with it, grow with it, save lives with it. How water gets to us is rarely ever thought about. But at Clow Valve Company, water is never taken for granted. We design and build some of the most advanced water valves and hydrants in the world from one of the cleanest, greenest, and safest facilities in the United States. Clow Valve Company, it's more.
Need to buy or sell real estate in the New Sharon or Oskaloosa area? Call me, Kara Meyer, at Gatton Realty at 641-660-1713 and let me help you with your real estate needs. Whether it's residential, commercial, or land you're looking to buy or sell, I'll use my resources and expertise to find the right buyer or seller for you. All of us at Gatton Realty are proud supporters of North Mahaska. Go Warhawks!
Welcome back into the Lacey Complex, overlooking Field 2 to be specific, and it was a 5-2 victory for the North Mahaska Warhawks over the Williamsburg Raiders. And we'll go ahead and break down the numbers a little bit here. Cade Snakenberg, my color commentator. My name's Eric Zamora. And one of the things that really jumps out in this one, while Williamsburg did score a run there, and it was a low-scoring game, both teams playing well on the mound, playing really well defensively. You could tell early on that the runs would be tough to come by and they'd need to generate them. But the real difference in this one, Williamsburg, in the end, with obviously having the opportunity to bat in the 7th inning and North Mahaska not needing it, ends up out-hitting the Warhawks 10-9, but outscored 5-2, and the big difference there was those left on base. They stranded 8 to just 5 for the Warhawks. So you've got to like that ratio. If you are the Warhawks, they score 5, leave 5 on base. So in essence, when somebody got on base, they had about a 50-50 chance of coming around to score. Meanwhile, just a 20% chance as Williamsburg scores 2, leaves 8. So in other words, they had about the same number of base runners. It was just North Mahaska getting timely hitting and doing a better job of getting them on to the next base. Ended up being the difference in the game.
Not only that, but, just how the Warriors would give up hits, but, didn't give up, stayed in it, found the ways to get the outs, and you know what? Just the infielding and the outfielding was incredible by the Warriors. I mean, the Warhawks, they played sound. They played when they played a little bit iffy, but then they backed it up with, just smart softball, and it was just fun to watch them play.
Well, and one of the things that I like to take a look at is some of the players that excelled offensively. For Williamsburg, Aubrey Walters, their leadoff batter, went 3 for 3 and had a walk, reached base every time she came up to bat, all 4 times. Jill Hollub going 3 of 4. Was never, however, able to get past second. That's kind of the story of what the Raiders had going. Meanwhile, on the other side, Zoe Ducour going 3 of 4 and a couple of doubles. But what I like when I take a look at this score sheet is how balanced it was. It wasn't that they were relying on 1 or 2 people to constantly do all the hitting, constantly do all the scoring. In fact, they scored 5 runs from 5 different players. You can't ask for any more balance than that.
Yeah, like I said earlier in the broadcast, this North Mahaska team, they have, just the right amount of depth, the right amount of upperclassmen with lowerclassmen, and, they could definitely, from my perspective, they could definitely make some damage, come the end of the season and onto the postseason.
All right, so we'll go ahead and recap for you the Oskaloosa Classic to this point. Oskaloosa defeated Sheraton earlier. Joe Lancella with a call of that right here on the No Coast Network. Pella Christian was knocked off by Knoxville 8-3, and Eddyville Blakesburg Fremont defeated Pella 8-0. Those all in the early games. Going on right now, Mount Vernon and Linville Sully and Albia Liberty. We're imagining that Albia is going to end up moving on with a victory there. Last we heard, Albia up by double digits. It was a close 2-0 lead for Mount Vernon. Last we checked in, that's been a while. Again, a 5-2 victory here for North Mahaska over Williamsburg. Up next, we've got Ottumwa, Liberty, West Burlington, Pella Christian, Sheridan, Albia, and Newton. All those games start at 12:45. Then we'll be back here on the broadcast on KMZN and the No Coast Network with the call of Norwalk versus North Mahaska. Also going on at that time, Ottumwa and Mount Vernon, Linville, Sully, and Williamsburg, and Knoxville, Newton. And then to end the day, Norwalk and Eddyville, Blakesburg, Fremont. And here on the No Coast Network, Joe Lansella with a call of Oskaloosa versus West Burlington. Want to thank everyone for helping out the production, and also want to thank you for tuning in. And weather permitting, we're obviously keeping an eye on the radar, but as of now, it looks like clear skies going forward. And it looks like in the fourth now we have an update, Mount Vernon on top of Linville Sully, 12-0. So we'll check back in with you at approximately 2:15 for the pregame, 2:30 first pitch. North Mahaska and Norwalk coming your way. One final time, North Mahaska 5, Williamsburg 2. You've been listening to girls softball action on KMZN and the No Coast Network.
You've been listening to Softball Action on the No Coast Network. Brought to you by Bank Iowa, Clow Valve Company, Oskaloosa Vision Center, Pella Printing, Robert Ald Investments, Malcolm Lumber, Kinetic Edge Physical Therapy, Certified Pest Control, Community First Credit Union, Fred's Muffler Shop, Hawkeye Real Estate, Pella Regional Health Center, Edward Jones Investments, Falvey Lumber and Hardware, Mahaska Drug, Quincy Place Mall in Ottumwa, Lighton State Bank, Gatton Realty, the Welcome Inn of Eddyville, Northern Mahaska Specialty Care Center, and the Rock Island Tap. Your Keys to the Game sponsor is Craig Ford. This has been a presentation of the No Coast Network.